And what's really interesting is we all said the same thing. And the fact is that millennial is that generation that it did not rush to get married, did not buy a house, did not move out of their parents' house after graduation. Like, we are that generation that chose our career and said, I'm going to work. We didn't have kids. We are the reason why higher ed sucks right now, because we did not have a lot of kids. We don't have them. We're 40 now, and we're just now having kids. So there's going to be a gap. But that's just who we are in general. And I think for the most of us, I know love is a second option. It is, I got to take care of myself first, get myself together, and then I'll figure out if I can fall in love and have that family and live that dream. But my dream right now is to make sure that I'm good.
So I'm gonna let you talk, Steph. I just feel like Brandon just called me out, like, cause I'm gonna just be honest. I'm about to be 40 and I ain't got not one child, so I'm the one contributing to this low enrollment because my kids not enrolling anywhere because I don't have none. So I thought you just called me out, Brandon.
All of us. It's actually like real true. There's a book out called The Enrollment Crisis, which talks about it. Millennials did not have kids. We went to school. So our parents' generation believed in going to college. They thought college would work, and so they sent us to college. We went and racked up all the student debt we could get because we went to college regardless of anything. Didn't matter if you had the money or not, we went. We left college with lots of debt, moved back into our parents' houses, did not buy cars, did not buy houses, did not start families. And just now millennials are saying, let's buy houses. Now all my friends want to get houses and have kids, but they're pushing 40. Like, we are a different breed of people. And I can't say I have been to that many weddings of friends in my generation. Like, I don't have it. I wish I did, but I've been to maybe like 3 or 4. That's pretty much it. It's not like a rush to get married for anybody in this particular generation. And the generation after is even worse. Generation Z has no plans on even going to college. They doing TikTok dances. That's their plan after they graduate. Is that they're gonna
Brandon, I think it's almost like what our parents said to us has now come back into like possibly having economic impacts. Like, you told me to go to school, get good grades, go to college, don't have kids before you married, all this stuff. Guess what? I didn't. I went to college, didn't have kids before I married, and here I am, almost 40, be 38 in a couple months. But, I don't think that has to be a bad thing, depending upon how, I'm sure if you talk to somebody who was like an economist or somebody that did data and other kind of projections back in like 1983, 1980s when we were born, it's like, okay, based on the patterns of this generation, if they do what their parents did, there would be X number of people by this time, and the country will be this by this time. So yeah, I mean, possibly we could see that our generation has messed up the economic balances. However, I think that in some regards, is it that we're not having these relationships and these kids, but we're just not getting married? Because I think I know a lot more people that are in our age group that have kids, but they just not married. Like, I think that there's some dynamics of what we saw maybe growing up on TV, or, I think we saw more, I would say more of the shows that I watched growing up. You did see the whole, you had the Harriet and Carl Winslow, you had, Cosby Show, you had Black married people. So it's not like the images, but in my, in your own personal life, you didn't necessarily see that. So for some of us, I'm just wondering if our notions of what it means to have love and relationships have been jaded because of the things that we may see around us. And we just like, no, let me focus on myself. Let me have it all together or semi together before I jump into something more. Or is it just like, I don't need that now? Like,
I think it's a both. It's like you were I think it's a both. Like, I think we saw Carl Winslow's and the Harriet. We saw the Uncle Phil and Aunt Bill. Like, we saw all of that, and we're aspiring. We're looking for that. So we're not settling for Junebug anymore, because we really know we can go get that, because y'all told us we go spend all this money on this degree, we can end up with that, because Junebug is not gonna get us there. So I think like that's the biggest thing, is like it's a both and, because we grew up watching that and many of us didn't see that in our own households. So because we didn't see that in our own households, we looked to those icons on television who gave us an idea of what actually a cohesive family might look like. And we're still looking for that. Like me, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I'm really looking for somebody who understands how to communicate and can talk about their value and knows how they add value, but then also understands love languages and know how to communicate, not just from theirs, but how to meet mine. Like, you know how hard it is to even get a man.